Welcome to the 80s versus 90s podcast, where we react and review everything from the 80s and 90s.
Hey everyone, this is Jesse and Jason, and we're back to do more retro stuff here. Today we've kind of decided to watch old game shows that we'd watch as kids, kind of just introduce each other to those things. So my show was Guts on Nickelodeon. And what's your show called, Jason?
The Bozo Show.
The Bozo Show. Okay. Did you feel proud to watch the Bozo Show as a kid?
I dreamed of being on the Bozo Show.
What? Okay, so I have to ask, since it's the word bozo when I was growing up was like idiot, like you're an idiot.
Right.
Is that the same meaning back then?
Well, Bozo is actually the host of the show.
Okay. All right.
And he is a clown.
Oh, Bozo the Clown. I've heard of Bozo the Clown.
Yeah, which that kind of went on, and he still is a thing. But there was, back in the 80s, there was a game show called The Bozo Show. And I don't know if it's the same Bozo the Clown or...
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're about to watch an episode of Just Guts. Global Guts came later on. Mm-hmm. I think Guts was on for like 1992, 1993, and then Global Guts came after that. But anyway, episode of Guts... Have you ever heard of it?
I'd never heard of it. No, I have not heard of Guts, or what did you say? Global Guts. Never heard of this before.
Perfect. Okay, so we'll watch an episode of that.
And then the Bozo Show, which is 1984, is this particular episode. So I'd have been 10.
Perfect. All right. Well, we'll watch an episode of Guts and be right back. All right, there's Guts, Mike O'Malley, and Mo with the official scores. What did you think?
So Mike O'Malley, as the host, was crazy, high energy. I believe Mo, she told him at one point to take a nap.
Yeah. Yeah, I always wondered if those two actually didn't like each other at all.
Right.
Because throughout the whole course of Guts and Global Guts, there'd just be a lot of verbal jousting between the two of them. And it was like, either you guys are like friends and you're like goofing off, or you actually really don't like each other.
Yeah, it was hard to tell in that episode.
Yeah, so we watched a couple of the games. Those were the older games. They have some new ones, but the aggro crag was still there.
I don't even know what that word still means, but it was crazy.
They upgraded that every season or whatever. So it was like the mega aggro crag, the super crag. Like it gets crazier and crazier each year.
Well, what it reminded me of, and maybe these shows got inspiration from Guts. It was almost like a combination of the adult version of Wipeout and then in Ninja Warrior.
Yeah. And
there was goofiness to it, like Wipeout and stuff that these kids obviously weren't going to be able to do very well. But then there were parts where, they had to do obstacles like Ninja Warrior.
Mm-hmm. I think in the 90s and 80s, more like with American Gladiator.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like this was like our equivalent at the time,
right,
of watching us do Gladiator.
Yeah, it was definitely a kid's Gladiator, and even I felt like they upped the game a little bit, at least in this episode, adding a full-size pool and things like American Gladiator didn't have. And the trophy at the end, what they won wasn't like a TV or gift cards like on a lot of kids' shows. You get a gift card to this. It was a trophy of a rock.
Yeah, which... Looking back on it, it was the coolest thing at the time, but now thinking about it in terms of like, oh, they just so cheap.
Yeah.
But it's the pride of competition.
Right.
You know, you just gotta do it.
Just gotta do it.
And that's actually their slogan for the show is, "Do you have it?" Guts. So
I will say I laughed a lot because you think when you've seen the Wipeouts and American Gladiators of the world, every kind of goofy competition. They did stuff on there I've never seen before in that one episode.
It's probably because they're not able to do stuff like that. They're like suspended and over water, and
that was weird. And even the one where they had to dodge baseballs coming at them.
Yeah,
from hitting them in the head. Like that sounds just wrong.
Yeah, I love it. It was one of my favorite shows growing up.
Yeah, it was funny.
That was like you mentioned Double Dare.
Yeah.
It's kind of like watching Double Dare was a very similar feeling just with all the like stuff going on, the obstacle courses, the high energy, the colors. It was
now, and see, like in Double Dare, I felt like I love Double Dare, but you saw a lot of the same stuff every time.
Yeah.
So on this, I've only seen the one episode. Did they change week to week? Or
very different.
so was that one where they were suspended above water and trying to paddle themselves across? Have you seen that one before?
I have. That's one of the few ones that of that episode that I had seen before. The first obstacle they had to go through or it wasn't an obstacle. They jumped down off of that ledge.
Oh, and shot a Nerf.
The Nerf arrow. That was weird. I don't remember that very much, but they do take some of those mechanics. So like jumping off that thing.
Okay, yeah.
They have like what is it? Pole vaulting or whatever. Where you have to jump over the bar.
Yeah.
Like a high jump kind of thing. So you have to jump down and then jump over a high bar or something. So there's some things like that where they use the mechanics of those things. And the pool is used in a lot of different things.
It's a big pool inside the studio.
Yeah. So they have like a wake pool at one point where they're like have a bunch of people in there making waves and the kids have to like paddle board to the other side of it. And yeah, so
it was funny thinking even back to the one kid needed help and he got a 2-second penalty.
Yeah, just a 2-second. Yeah. Everyone kind of finished the first 3 rounds within 100 or so points of each other. Right. That's a lot of fun. It's weird looking back at it and being like, this was my go-to.
That was your go-to. That's funny.
But anyway, so the Bozo show, we're about to watch that. Any information I should know?
I'm not going to give you any information.
Wow. Okay, I'm going in blind. Just going to watch the Bozo show, and we'll be right back. Okay, so just finished watching the Bozo show.
Episode from 1984.
Was it similar to how you remember it?
That was exactly how I remember it. I would say I always don't remember the kids being that young.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that in the particular game they were playing that they were going to get very far. Mm-hmm. Or I remember kids getting almost and winning the grand prize. But yes, this is the same Bozo the Clown. I'll let you give what you think.
Okay, so we watched kind of like the end of the episode where they're doing the bucket. What is it called?
It was called the grand prize game.
The grand prize game.
Yeah.
They have 6 buckets. You stand in a line and you try to throw like a ping pong ball into a bucket.
Beer pong for kids.
I think Bozo had been playing real beer pong right before shooting. I love his voice.
Yeah.
He's kind of got like this Chicago going on, and then he gets like, really?
It's like he forgets he's in character, and then he adds extra to it.
Oh, I got to do something with this. But yeah, he definitely seemed a little tipsy. But the game, I love how just simple. This is something that you would do as a kid and like set up something with the neighborhood kids.
Which I did, yes.
How far can you throw this thing? Or definitely a little more accessible than Guts in terms of playing this game on your own. But yeah, I thought, like, I'd seen it, Bozo the Clown. I think my dad had mentioned some episodes from the 60s, and they came on, like, PBS or something way back.
Oh, yeah,
and, so I got to see a couple of those episodes as a kid, but I'd never seen the Bozo show, so this was a first.
Yeah, what I had forgotten about it is the prizes. So it was the grand prize game, but even, like, the first bucket you had to throw a ping pong ball into was literally at your feet. You didn't have to throw it. You just set it in there. Mm-hmm. And they still won. Like, what was that? Chocolate bunny.
Something from a local bakery.
Oh, yeah. I was surprised.
Yeah.
So,
and 3 prizes, some lollipops from a local candy shop.
That's right, the lollipops. And what was great about it is, like, when you watch The Price is Right or any of those other things, you win your prizes and you go on. Where they actually were handing them to the kids to carry back to the audience.
Yeah, they after 2 buckets of worth of prizes or whatever, kids didn't even have like bags.
Right.
They were just like, here's some loose prizes. Take it back to your seat. Hope you don't get mugged on your way back. Yeah, it was funny. Even like the ad placement of you just know those like candy stores were like mom and pop shops.
Yes,
paying Bozo the Clown to have prize bucket number 1 with their chocolate bunny in it.
Right. Well, and before the game even started, which they didn't even talk about afterwards, is they talked about Kodak cameras, instant cameras, which in 1984 was pretty new.
Yeah.
And his little pitch about it was, we will take pictures of the kids playing this game and have them ready afterwards. Like, how exciting is it that picture could be ready in 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
1 hour.
No 1 hour.
Needed.
Yeah. Which they never showed the picture afterwards anyway, so I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, the intern forgot to take the pictures. I love that. Was it the Bozo the Bozo pewter?
Oh, the Bozo pewter, yeah, which picked what number seat kid from the audience got to come in, and it was. It looked like it broke down, or it felt like it like froze a couple times.
Yeah, it was rough. It was just display of numbers, but it was struggling.
It was struggling.
The Bozo pewter.
The Bozo pewter.
So definitely an interesting show. The pacing on both shows was interesting too because they're so different.
Very.
Even in the last episode where we watched the Snorks.
Yes.
And then watching Rocco.
Totally different pacing.
Yeah, I feel like 90s kids are ADD for a reason. Like just some of that stuff was like super fast paced and
for sure.
After watching both episodes, we've got to rate.
That's right. Would we watch them again?
Would we watch them again based on the one snippet or episode that we watched? So
I'll answer.
Yeah.
So for Guts, my answer would be I would watch one more episode again, just because, and maybe I'd go beyond. Maybe Global Guts gets a little crazier. But
Yeah.
I want to show my teenage sons this just to see, because it was funny.
Yeah. My answer is also yes. I watched an episode last night too, so it just shows that
you like Guts.
I'm currently watching it, so it's one of those shows for me that brings back a ton of memories. So even if the kids aren't great competitors, I just love even like the bios they do on the kids where they're kind of hiding in the bushes and the camera comes zooming in on them. They're like, "Hi, my name is Michael and I'm from whatever." How about Bozo the Clown or the Bozo Show?
I'll let you answer that first.
Okay, so after watching it, I don't like clowns. I'm not scared of clowns. Don't misinterpret me. I'm not afraid of clowns. I'm just terrified of clowns. So I don't think I'd watch simply because the host would be a little much for me to take in.
Yeah, I just for nostalgia would probably watch another episode, but I'd be fast forwarding through it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be able to sit through and watch a whole episode of him unless, I don't know. I mean, he did seem like he played beer pong before, so maybe they would entertain me watching the whole episode, but I think I would probably fast forward. So maybe watch it for nostalgia purposes, but I wouldn't like recommend it to any other friends. You haven't watched the Bozo Show? You need to watch this.
You need to stop what you're doing. I feel like I could watch the Bozo Show if it was just him and the other clowns.
Yeah.
With the kids coming up and then being like, "Little Sally, hello."
That was kind of creepy.
And she's just like not really responding. It's like, "Hello, little Sally."
Yeah.
It was like, okay, well, he was funny on his own, and the characters like that he interacted with giving the prizes were pretty funny. So.
Yeah, even when he slammed down the Bozo doll that they won.
Yeah.
The interaction between them, even though it was short, was funny. So for sure.
Yeah. But overall, two great pieces of nostalgia for both of us. If you, listening to this, have ever watched either, have a preference or would watch an episode or have a recommendation of an episode, let us know. We'd love to see the clip or the episode that you're fond of.
Yep.
And we can have you vote along with us for what shows you think are best. So, Guts, leave a comment saying you like Guts. If you like the Bozo Show better, leave a comment saying you like the Bozo Show better. Or if neither of these shows and you have another show that we should be watching, send that as well. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.